Hello, this is Simone. I wanted to share a closer look at my passport size traveler's notebook that I use to house as a passport and travel wallet, as well as on my last trip, it housed my travel journal, my trip journal. However, I actually didn't use it at all while I was away. I finished it completely. I made it at home once I was back. And I wanted to show you how I set up this notebook, and then I will share a flip through. And I will actually add the minutes to both in the description box below. So if you do not want to see how I set this up, you can totally jump ahead to the flip through. So this is a passport size passport size in foxyfix language, which this is a notebook from foxyfix. In number 1, it has white stitching, silver elastics, and I think the color is cherry. Now, I was gifted this notebook by my friend Cheryl Reiter, and she had the R, the fancy letter R embossed on the front, which I did not really care for. However, I found this button in my stash, and I decided to actually, and you can see this right here, punch 2 holes. And I just used a tool that you use for scrapbooking, where you would, no, I think I used a little leather hole puncher, and I just wiggled it both ways. So I had 2 little holes in, I marked it from the button, so I would punch the holes at the right distance from each other. Then I punched it, and then I just used embroidery thread, which I really think pulls out the purplish hues in this notebook, and then threaded it through and knotted it, and I'm just gonna see how long this lives. I wasn't afraid of adding the holes and adding the button because I had it in my stash for a long time. Because of the R, I thought I wouldn't mind using it with an R on it, but obviously I didn't. And now this stays like this until I go someplace and need it. So I have a wallet from, wow, Odd Girl Journals. Wow, my head went completely blank right there. And it's also for a passport size. And on my recent trip, I had this and my passport connected with an elastic and then looped in underneath. However, while I was traveling, I realized that I needed my passport to come loose and to be easily able to take it out without fumbling with elastics and such. And so when I got home, I decided to switch it up, and this is the final setup that I am using now. So I am slipping my wallet underneath the single elastic that is in the notebook. The insert, and you can totally get various wallet inserts for this, has card slots right here. It has a pocket right here and a zipper pouch right here. I do have, this is the elastic that I used to connect the passport and the wallet insert, and then I just slipped it under the elastic. It's in the zipper pouch. I have my special cards, my ID card and my driver's license for my German ones in here, because those I only need in Germany. And what I do then is, sorry, I had to go and grab my wallet. So this is actually a card sleeve, also from foxyfix, that I am using as my wallet. So this goes everywhere with me. And if I go places where I need a purse, I put it in my purse. Otherwise, it just goes in my pants or a jacket pocket. I have, as you can see, there is a flat tile that is connected to my phone. So I can actually, if I lose it, I can track where it was, where I had it last. And instead of taking my cards out and putting them into the card slots right here, I put my wallet into this, or my cards into this pocket right here, which makes it quite chunky. But I am totally okay with that. I could put bills right here, some change, the foreign currency bills and change right here, and then it would still close well. And what I really like about that way is that it slips into this pocket, so the wallet cannot fall out at the top or at the bottom, and it cannot fall out because an elastic closure is right in the front where it slips into the pocket. So that's why, or how I traveled last time, and it worked really well. I am, especially when I'm not in my routine, I am notoriously losing things, or I forget where I put them last. I put them in places in my bag, in my pouch, on my mom's cupboards, someplace, and then I forget. And then I get really, really nervous because I don't remember where I had it last. This way, by putting it back there and actually having a tile with this whole thing, helped me so much in keeping my cool. And I was able to not lose my boarding pass at London Heathrow Airport this time around, and that was a step up to my last flight. So it definitely worked really well. And then I just used those binder. I'm not sure if I'm going to use two, because that is going to make it hard to take it out. I think having one binder clip is enough. And if I am, because look at how tight and how well it sits right on here. So I'm just clipping it to the back, and if a customs officer or someone at the airport, when you check in, they all need your passport. I can just take it out like this and hand my passport over, and then once they give it back to me, it's also very easy for me to just clip it back in and close it shut. What I did when I traveled this last time, I just slipped it in the back here, or sometimes I put it some other place in my bag, and then I again got nervous and was very, very, I don't know why this happens to me, but I kind of seem to lose my brain when I'm traveling. And so this kept it together really nicely. So that is my travel wallet, so to speak. And this is my travel journal. I made this from pocket ring inserts that I printed. They were printables from annieplansprintables, and I'll show you the setup. Usually you print the whole month, and I have the rest of this in my journaling box, and they start with a monthly spread in the front, and then you have the page that is called This Week, and then you have a daily page for Monday through Friday, and then it starts again with Monday through Sunday, and then it starts again with This Week and Monday again. And so I just went and looked at the pages and found that I was traveling or leaving on a Thursday night and getting back on a Friday. And I didn't want to journal in my logbook that I usually used, and so I decided I would take the Friday, then I would have the Saturday and Sunday, and then I would do something with this week page, and then take a whole nother set of Monday through Friday and bind it together as a traveler's notebook. On the next page, right on the back of here, we have another this week, and I didn't want that, and so I just glued the last page to the back cover, and that worked really well. I then used scrapbooking paper. This is actually from my scrap bin, and this is the label. What is it called? That strip that is on the scrapbooking papers. I really liked how those played well together, and so I just measured out how big I wanted it and cut around it, folded it in half, and before I cut down the pages, I punched holes with my hole piercer and used embroidery thread and sewed it close. And then I used a ruler and a metal ruler and one of those knives, craft knives, and cut it down to size. So all the pages are the same size. And then I just added a label and added a rub-on that says Life's Little Adventures. And let me show you what I did. When I came back, I decided to pick a photo from each day that I was away. I printed it on my Instax, and I actually, even though I really like the size of the Instax photos, I don't like the way they work in a passport size insert. That was not a good idea, and if I would be able to redo it, or if I would definitely use a different size notebook if I wanted to use Instax photos again. So I put my boarding pass here. I added a little sticker from Once More with Love. I stapled my boarding pass here. I stamped the date. I added one of those, this is from the Happy Planner. And then instead of what I really had intended to do was do something very similar to the way I journaled in this insert here, using planner stickers and hand lettering to log my day. But I just didn't feel it, and so I just wrote little sentences of what I did on the flight, what I did in the airport, what film I watched, and so it didn't come out the way I had intended it to be, but I really like what actually came out of this. On the next page, I stuck down my tickets for the train. This is a photo of my niece that I can't show you. And as you can see, this is what I mean. There is the photo, and it takes up almost all the space of the passport size. But it doesn't take enough to be just on that page without anything else, but you only have this much room for journaling, so I did not really like how that turned out, but that's next time I know better and we'll do something else. Here I talked about the Sunday. I didn't have a nice photo, so I didn't put one. I added another one of the planner stickers. This one is a Coffee Monsters, a cleaning one. Okay, so this one is from the Coffee Monsters, and this one is from Happy Daya stickers. I then decided, since I knew what I was going to write about, to sketch all the purchases that I made while I was away. I bought myself a new hoodie, zipper hoodie that is organic, vegan and fair. Sketched it here. I purchased 2 postcards and lots of candy. So I used that page. This is when my brother took me out for a döner. So I then decided to go and just add this as a tip-in so I could flip the photo up and be able to journal underneath. And even though there's actually only 3 sentences on here, but it filled the page. So that I really, really like about that size. It rained on Monday. Tuesday, it was the wedding of my sister. I took this photo while she was still at the hairdresser, and there was nothing much to be said about it. And I just hand lettered the word Hochzeit, which is wedding in German, on the side, and I filled the space this way. So my little brother and I are 12 years apart, and that's a huge age gap. There's lots of siblings in between, but we both kind of connected this trip, and I just wanted to write about it. So I wrote about it here because on Wednesday we didn't really do a lot. We traveled again back to my other sister's house, and so it was a good space to just add a little bit more about the way we were able to connect. And I just used and again scrap paper from my scrap bin to add a flip out that flips down, so I was able to journal here. And then I don't know why I decided to sketch. It's not perfect, but it definitely inspired me to be more willing to do that in my journal that I'm using right now. I journaled. I added a little bit of washi tape. There's more stickers, the sketch, and what it is supposed to be. And then on Friday, I left and I put all the things that I needed right here. I created a little pocket with my boarding passes. I added staples right here and here. And so I'm able to slip in this photo of me going to the bus stop to go to the airport. And I sketched the Berlin TV tower. I don't even know how do you translate that into English, which is something that is so, I don't know why it's meaningful to me, but if I don't see this while I'm in Berlin, it doesn't feel like I was there. And on my last day, I was able to see it while riding the train to the airport, and it's kind of fun because the train, there is this ring that circles right around the center part of Berlin, and actually you can see this tower so from most of the ride, and so it was really fun to experience this again. So I sketched it right here, and my bus ticket, and train ticket, my boarding passes, and in this pocket right here. And I knit again. And then Saturday and Sunday I was already at home, but I decided that if I wanted to continue with my logbook, which I actually didn't, I would want to start on a fresh week. And so it was really nice, or it was great that I was able to finish that week in this journal and then move on to whatever else I was going to use, and the way I had intended to continue logging in this, and I was just going to miss 1.5 weeks that would not be documented in here. And here, this is a perfect example of why I don't really like the way the Instax photos look in the passport size. This is, I don't even have to say anything about that. But instead of just, giving up or redoing everything, I embraced it. I stuck down the photos. I turned it on the side and wrote here. I probably should have just done the same thing here, but I journaled right here and then called it done. And I was able to finish this in 2 sittings. I love that I documented it. I was able to document some of my feelings of going back home after, I think I was there, the last time I was there was 1.5 years ago. So the way I documented that trip is worked out fine for me. I'm not too upset about the fact that I had different plans. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Bye!